Welcome back to the Explore AI series. Today, we're going to dive deeper into the data complexity that IT professionals are facing and how Alta Copilot can help with that. I'm joined by Chris Wiborg, VP of Product and Solutions Marketing here at Veritas. Chris, thank you for being here.
Glad to be here as always, Varun.
Awesome. So, Chris, you have a background in IT and then you transitioned into product marketing. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. I once upon a time, I was very much an IT operator and practitioner hands-on, did a lot of work there. That's actually been a great asset in my current role, moving into product marketing. Because if you think about it in marketing, you always think about how do you communicate and address the careabouts of your audience. And so I used to be that guy. And so it really fits naturally in what I do today and has been a great asset.
That's fantastic. So, Chris, can you talk a little bit more about the data complexity that IT professionals are running into today?
Yeah, I think IT complexity has been around forever, right? And so I think back to my days when I was in IT, and it was always a challenge to stay on top of the latest trends, the latest issues you had to address as technology progresses over time. And you listen to folks these days, and I spend a lot of time with various focus groups and such on this. IT burnout is a thing, right? It's just a hard problem you have to address, whether it's in data protection or other areas of IT. How do you keep up with the pace of change? I think I saw a survey from IDC that said around sometime next year, there's going to be like 175 zettabytes out there of data, right? So everybody knows that data just keeps growing. And since we're sort of talking about AI at some level, that's just adding to the problem, right? So you got that on the one hand. And then in the world of the data protection practitioner, the number one thing they're having to wrestle with now is all the inbound attacks of people trying to get to that data, whether it's ransomware or exfiltration or what have you. So you take a role like the data protection operator, the specialist that does that, or maybe you're a generalist in a mid-sized company where you wear many hats, right? Life is not getting easier. And so how do you deal with that complexity? And I do think, and we'll talk about this more, AI is one of the answers.
That's very true. And it's not like teams are not doing their best. They're investing in skills training or hiring more people, but that's not enough, right? And AI can be a solution to your point.
Yep.
How are we approaching this with Alta Copilot?
Yeah, I think, our approach with Alta Copilot, so let me sort of address the why, right, is very much to address that need, right? How can we reduce complexity in the lives of the operator, whether you're a seasoned specialist or a novice generalist, and give you that boost, give you that human assist, right? I think about how I use AI sometimes in my role in marketing. And I will go out and let's say I'm trying to open a new position, a new role. I've done this before, gone in and like, hey, can you please create a job description for me where this is the role and these are some of the responsibilities, right? And it'll do its work and come back to me and spit out an answer. Now, is it perfect? No, right? I may have to go in there and tweak it, but look, if it gives me a 60% boost, so I don't have to start from scratch, that's a huge help to me in being more productive and getting my job done. So take that same concept of the, sort of Copilot, and we've heard a lot about that beyond what Veritas does, and bring it into our world. And how do we give that same sort of productivity benefit to the folks that are running the data protection infrastructure? And if we can do that, that's a huge boost to them, whether, again, they're a specialist and been doing it for years or brand new, where it may be particularly helpful, right?
Absolutely. And the time savings are non-trivial, right? And then you can focus on more strategic tasks and actually influence decisions that require more of your time. You talked about how Alta Copilot supports novices as well as seasoned operators.
Yeah.
With novices, it's pretty clear, right? It helps them get value from the product sooner and understand how to navigate.
Right.
With seasoned operators, they've been in the business for a long time. They understand ins and outs. What are some of the key differentiators for some of these seasoned professionals?
Yeah, look, I think, again, even if you're a seasoned data protection professional, you may not be a security expert. Let's take that as an example, right? And so as you think about how you harden your environment against the nefarious actors out there, if I'm not sure the best practices on that, I can, through natural language prompt, ask the system, give me an answer. And it should come back and make recommendations for me in a way that guides me down an area of expertise that I may not have, even if I know really well how to manage my backup schedules and windows and all that, right? So I think it's just an assist. It can also give me references to documentation where even if I think I know the answer, I might want to look at it again. And instead of picking up the phone and calling the helpline or doing a Google search online to find it myself, I just ask the tool I'm already using. So even there, it's more productive and it saves me time, right? And then gives me a pointer right to what I need to go look at to say, oh, yep, validated what I thought. Let me go make it so if I haven't already done so.
Fantastic. And that's the benefit of a Copilot, right? And specifically,
Correct.
we're trying to address that with also Copilot as well. One of the things we like to do in this series, Chris, is look to the future.
Yeah.
So as you think about our vision and where we're headed, we've talked about our autonomous data management journey.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
talk a little bit more about where we're going?
I think for those of you unfamiliar with autonomous data management, it's this concept we have of how do you over time automate things to a degree where there's a need for less and less human intervention, right? I don't think we're at the point where we're going to let the machines just run everything themselves at this point, right? This is back to that human assist concept. Even though it gives me an answer, I still need to put my lens on it and make sure it's giving me what I really need. And so there's a different set of phases, I think, as people move along towards autonomous. Think about what you see maybe in your consumer life with autonomous driving, right? Self-driving cars, yeah? Are we there yet? But are we making progress? Sure, we are, right? Every car these days, a new one will give you the little like, hey, you're getting too close as you're lane changing even. So think about the different phases where it's gone from the manual stick shift, right, all the way up to some of the technology we have in cars now. We're sort of following the same path in data protection, where I think we're at this stage where the Copilot is something that people candidly start to expect, right? I mean, I talk to some of my kids and like, these days, not that they're using this for their schoolwork, but they may have friends that do that, where they're just sort of going to go into the workforce expecting the ability to ask the system and get an answer back, right? And different than what those of us that go up in the Google era, right? I mean, remember those days? Like, oh my God, I can ask and I get an answer. This is just more advanced at some level, and hence why companies like Google and others are putting more investment into AI, again, in the pursuit of increased productivity and assisting humans to do their job better, whatever that is.
Awesome. Thank you so much for those valuable insights, Chris. Like you said, we've made tremendous progress, but we're just scratching the surface on what AI can do for our customers.
More to come for sure.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't checked out Alta Copilot, here's a demo to watch it in action. And please subscribe to the Explore AI series to learn more about AI and cybersecurity.